Good evening. We're here. We made it. You can't really count on the weather in Boston, but you can always count on the NEAq members to show up, so I appreciate that. We did an event here, I think, 3 years ago when we started talking about this. It was pouring rain that night as well, and everyone still came, so I'm impressed with all of you. First, let me just start off by thanking the aquarium. Thank you for hosting us in this beautiful space. I'm told the screens are going to go up during the reception, so pretty fun time to hang out. But I also want to especially thank Elizabeth. Your leadership, your devotion, your partnership on this made it all possible. And Elizabeth is not only incredibly devoted and passionate to this work, but incredibly thoughtful. And as anyone has ever seen the NEAD syllabus, you know it required a lot of thought. A lot of thought. And this stuff isn't easy. We're dealing with some of the most complex challenges of our time, and it constantly took us, let's take a step back. Are we going in the right direction? Are we doing the right thing? So thank you, Elizabeth. I want to thank NEAD, Connor and Ina and Karen and everyone at NEAD who made this possible. I tell people all the time they should do things on the ocean. They don't always say yes. So you get a lot of credit, I think, for that. And I thank you because you created a space that didn't exist for us. I remember coming to my first NEAD meeting in someone's living room, and I thought, okay, this is where the magic happens. It's not in the big conferences where you can't talk to anyone. It's here in a living room, in an intimate space like this, where you can get to know people, share your ideas, share your thoughts. So thank you. Now I want to also thank the Ocean Foundation because as some of you may notice, we're repping out in pretty hard fashion here. And that's on purpose. This was a special moment for us, and I want you to know it's not just me at the Ocean Foundation, but the entire organization that is standing behind this. So first we have a set of staff. If Ocean Foundation staff, just raise your hand. We got Ben, Kate, Michelle, and Eva are in the room. Want to give all of them a shout out. Yeah, you can give them a shout out. We have 3 board members in attendance today. We have Ed Tillinghast here. Thank you so much. We have Ola Krulashinska here. Olga's here. We have Elliot Kafritz, who is the chair of our board. And in fact, Elliot said something to me just as we were outside that has stuck with me, rattling around in my head. And that is the Ocean Foundation is special not just because of the issues we work on, but the values we share. The values for the people that we work with and the communities we serve, and I believe that. We also have in attendance the president of the Ocean Foundation, Mark Spalding. And Mark's been at the helm for 20 years. We're celebrating our 20th year anniversary. And as Mark can tell you, 20 years just in this job alone, he has seen some things in the ocean world. And so I encourage you, when this is the talks are over, grab a glass of wine, talk to Mark. He's got plenty to share. And he's seen it all here in the ocean world. And so thank you, Mark, for supporting this and supporting our involvement in NEAD. Despite serving as the world's largest carbon sink, being responsible for every other breath of life we take, still, the ocean is one of the least invested resources on Earth. We started with this circle with a simple premise. If you looked at all of the grant making in the United States, environment is dead last. And of that, only 7% of every dollar that goes to the environment goes to the ocean. So 7% of the smallest philanthropic giving category to support 71% of the Earth's surface and all of the people that depend on it. That math did not add up to us. And we said, here is a role that philanthropy can and should play. How humanity stewards the ocean, in large part, will dictate our collective future, whether it is one of prosperity or one of despair. The ocean is our life. The role of philanthropy could not be more clear. Capital markets, we all talk about investment. Capital markets will not invest unless philanthropy proves the concept to be successful. Federal governments are crucial and important, but they take a long time. You can just ask our friends from Puerto Rico. I think you're still waiting on some of that Hurricane Maria FEMA funding, let alone the recent hurricane. And so while those things get stuck in bureaucracy, or why the financial markets sit back and wait, is this a safe investment? Philanthropy can take risks. Invest in the solutions that we know work, and support the communities on the front line that are actually doing the work. After all, island communities, coastal communities around the world are disproportionately facing the brunt of climate change. They're in the flight path of what the rest of the world has created. This circle examined two things. Ina talked a little bit about this. First, what are the ocean issues that we should be talking about? And second, how do we be effective grant makers to actually implement those solutions? We dove into things like blue carbon, using oceanic ecosystems to sequester carbon and fortify coastlines. There's some great mangroves here as well. That's always good to have in the room. We talked about the threat that ocean acidification is facing on the shellfish industry and food security for billions of people around the world. We dove into local livelihoods and the communities that depend on them, how sustainable and healthy fisheries can actually support communities, and what local community engagement and real climate resilience actually looks like. And then we got into the really hard stuff. How do we actually support the groups on the ground doing this work? And this is where I'm really grateful and proud to be a part of this group, because as much as we may have taught, so have we learned. We learned from all of you. We learned from your experiences. We learned from your previous grant making. And we collectively decided what are our core values. Elizabeth mentioned some of those: giving unrestricted grants, investing in projects that take a systematic approach to root causes, not just immediate outcomes, ones that display true equity, that are rooted in the community, and that have local leadership. It's been an honor and a journey to go through this with all of you. And I guess what we would say is we hope the last 6 months have laid the foundation for the next 6 years and beyond. This circle, make no mistake, was the beginning. It was just the beginning. And what happens in the future will depend on all of us. So thank you so much for coming tonight. We really appreciate it.